So I have been cosplaying for over 10 years now, and in that time I have picked up some tips and tricks and just things that I think that baby cosplayers should know. So in today's video, I'm going to impart to you 7 of my favorite tips that I think baby cosplayers should know. Closet cosplay is completely valid. Closet cosplay can be defined as a wig or your hair styled as that character, a casual outfit, and then thrusting yourself upon the world at large. I cannot tell you how accessible closet cosplay is. If you do not have the money, the funds, the ability to buy or make these really elaborate cosplays, but just want to dip your toes into the cosplay scene, doing a closet cosplay is the easiest way to kind of see if cosplay is the thing for you. And I do hear quite frequently on the internet, actually, people being like, oh, closet cosplay isn't valid or blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to them. They are filthy little liars. Do yourself a favor. Try closet cosplay. It's a really fun way to figure out if cosplay is for you. It's a really cost-effective way to cosplay your favorite characters. And also, I cannot tell you how many times I have gone out, bought a full cosplay for something, put it all on, and then went, yeah, I don't actually like myself as this character. If you're testing out if you actually are gonna like yourself as the character or things like that, sometimes the easiest way is to buy the wig, get an outfit that you think kind of matches the character's vibe, something like that, put that all on together, and see if that's something you actually like, because it's a lot easier to justify the price of like a $15, $20, $25, $30 wig versus a $200 costume. Because nothing is worse than putting it all on and going, I actually hate this. Yay. It can come down to the way you style your clothes. You can take stuff from your actual closet. You can go to the thrift store and find things that you like the vibe of. I have done this several times just to kind of test out characters and see if I really like the vibe of it. Also, there are entire characters that I've cosplayed where I've never actually gotten. They're canon cosplay. I just went and did a closet cosplay of it. It's really fun. It's also really fun for like hanging out with your friends and going places, but you don't want to wear like your entire like Honkai Star Rail cosplay to friggin' the Walmart. You could, however, slap on the wig, slap on a cute little outfit, and then go to Walmart that way. Because actually that is a really fun way that I do cosplay outside of conventions and online, is just going to my local mall and hanging out with my friends in a silly little costume. And you might be saying, aren't you too old for that? Mind your business. Cringe is dead. Cosplay is for all ages. Internalize that right now. We're gonna sit here, internalize it, okay? Cringe is dead. Cosplay is for all ages. Just let people have fun. Thrift your cosplays when available. Now, I know that there are a lot of costumes out there that you just can't thrift. I've looked at Genshin Impact cosplays. I've made 9 Genshin Impact cosplays, okay? I know that not all cosplays are thriftable, okay? Okay, before you go and say, oh, but I can't thrift everything. What about that Honkai Star Rail cosplay that I want? What about, I know. Shh. I know, okay? But what I'm saying is, how about these Dandadan characters? Okay, that is a blue pleated skirt, a pink sweater, a dress shirt, and a big bow. You do not need to go buy the polyester piece of crap when you can go to your thrift store and find a completely valid version there. Things that exist in the thrift store were already made, already used, and not further contributing to the pollution of our society, okay? Like, almost all of my BSD cosplays are thrifted things, or I made one piece here and there, but 9 times out of 10, I always try, if it is a costume that can be thrifted, I will, okay? If it is a costume that is jeans, a t-shirt, and another shirt over top, just thrift it. You do not need to go and buy things. Take for example, the Skate the Infinity characters. 90% of those costumes can just be thrifted or altered thrifted pieces. There are so many different costumes that exist at large where you don't need to go buy like a really crap, expensive polyester trash bag. Instead, you could go to the thrift store and buy something that already exists, isn't as crap, and one of the cats just threw themselves at my door. What? Come here. You want to throw yourself at my door? You're going on camera now, buddy. You want to throw yourself? You want to be a part of the video? Dawn says thrift your cosplays and try to recycle whenever you can. Look at her little tail. Look at her. Are you done? Are you done? Anyways, buy the cheap wig. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. You're like, what do you mean buy the cheap wig? If you are just starting out in your cosplay journey, you've never styled a wig before, you've never cut a wig before, don't go and waste your money on a $90 wig. Because you're never gonna actually style the wig if you're so worried about cutting into this really beautiful Arda wig that's like a lace front and it's lovely and beautiful and you spent like, 5 hours of work on it. Just buy the cheap AliExpress wig, okay? You do not need to go and buy the expensive wig that all the professional cosplayers are using and then regret it. I own Arda wigs, I own Epic Cosplay wigs, but I also didn't buy those wigs until I already had experience on the really crap, cheap wigs. But also let me tell you what, some of the best wigs I have ever bought have been the like $25 AliExpress wigs, okay? Now, there is something to be said about some of the Arda wigs that I have and some of the Epic Cosplay wigs that I have. Like, some of them are really nice, but then sometimes also, they're not that much better than like the $30 wig you're gonna get on Amazon or AliExpress. I personally prefer getting my wigs on AliExpress, but that is because most of the wigs you're gonna find on Amazon are the dropship versions and they're just more expensive than the ones on AliExpress because AliExpress is just like the storefront for Western audiences for the companies and the factories that are building these wigs in China. So like that's my whole take. But buy the less expensive wig. Start out with the not really intense, expensive, really high quality wigs because you're gonna learn so much and you're gonna make so many mistakes and you do not wanna make those mistakes on the expensive wigs. Do not make those mistakes on your expensive wigs. Get the cheap wigs. Get the inexpensive wigs. I usually actually still buy 10 years later the less expensive wigs because they're really not that different if you know what you're doing. If it's a technique that I haven't tested yet, I don't want to test it on the $125 lace front Arda wig, okay? I don't want to test it on that because I don't want to ruin a $125 Arda wig. So, very important, okay? Just buy the cheap wig. Do it. Test, learn, all that on your cheap wigs, and then use that knowledge for the expensive wigs. Okay? Learn to sew. Now I know what you're saying. Everything you've told me up until this point has been things that make sense for a beginner cosplayer. And I know that me saying this is very, very controversial. Now, I want to preface this with saying, I am not expecting you to go buy a sewing machine. I am not expecting you to go spend hundreds of dollars on a whole bunch of different equipment and make all of your cosplays from scratch and do everything like that. That's not what I'm saying, okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the dollar store is a great wealth of really easily accessible and inexpensive sewing equipment. I just went to the dollar store and I saw like 3 different sewing kits, fabric snips, scissors, measuring tape, everything that you need to start learning how to just simply hand sew, something like that. You can get that everything at the dollar store, even buttons and elastic and Velcro. Like you can get everything that you need to just start learning how to hand sew. at the dollar store. This is also coming from a Canadian perspective. I do not know what American dollar stores look like. I don't know what dollar stores look like from around the world. I went to Dollarama and found all of this stuff, but you can also find this stuff at Dollar Tree, because we have a Dollar Tree in Canada, and I've looked there and you can find things. So just, you do not need to go and spend $350 on a brand new, like, Singer sewing machine, okay? You don't need to do that. And I'm not saying that when I say you should learn how to sew, that you need to make all of your costumes and that you can't just buy things. What I'm saying is learning how to do the basic hand stitches is going to improve your store-bought cosplays. When was the last time you bought a store-bought cosplay that fits you perfectly to a T? Because I always have to make little adjustments to my cosplays. Buttons fall off all the time. Sometimes I need to add a panel of fabric because I followed the size chart and it didn't fit. So when I'm saying learn to sew, I'm saying get yourself a hand sewing kit. Practice on some bunk fabric that you got at the thrift store, like a sheet, and just practice doing some little hand stitches. A really great source for learning how to hand sew is actually Bernadette Banner. Her videos on some of the hand sewing techniques, now they are a little older, probably like 5, 6 years old videos, but oh my God, she is a treasure trove of information in hand sewing. And before anybody says anything about like, well, it's really rich that you're telling people to learn how to sew and then not showing anybody how to do it, check my channel. For the last 10 years, I have been putting out at least one tutorial every single year, sometimes many tutorials. I have put out in this year alone, like 5 or 6 different videos where I have sewn something and shown a technique in that video. You can go through my videos, my sewing videos, and you can learn how to do different techniques. I show you guys how to do things. So if you want to learn how to sew and you have questions, ask me. I will make a beginner sewing guide for you guys if you want. I want to impart my knowledge. I want to teach you guys things. I have been sewing for 17 years. I have a lot of experience that I can show you guys. So if that's something you want, tell me. I will share that knowledge, okay? Don't buy from Easy Cosplay. I am not going to regularly tell you not to buy from certain cosplay shops because a lot of them are all drop shippers of the same thing, but I will tell you to steer clear permanently from Easy Cosplay. Because when you get that cosplay, they do not fit. They're made of some of the worst materials and they are so crappily put together. And I know what you're saying, but they're the only one of the shops that does like custom sizing. That is a lie. I have paid their exorbitant prices for custom sizing. For a bodysuit I could barely zip up, was so tight, the video got taken down for public nudity because it was a bodysuit and so tight, and not in a good it fits me tight way, so good that it put compression on my spine and gave me a migraine and I could not physically sit in a stretch bodysuit. Do not buy from Easy Cosplay. Save yourself the hassle. Just trust me on this. I have met one person in the 7 years since I've known about the company, one person that has liked the costume they got out of literally hundreds of people that have hated their costumes. Just don't do it. Buy from Cosplay Sky, buy from Mick Costumes, buy from Doki Doki. Just do not touch Easy Cosplay. Wear a dance belt. This one goes out to all of my fellas who are cosplaying Spider-Man or adjacent bodysuit cosplays. Nobody wants to see your package free floating around in your Spider-Man suit. This is a dance belt. They're very easy to find. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them online somewhere. You could go to your local dance shop, get a dance belt. They are very comfortable. They don't squish your package. They don't hurt you in any way. It's literally like wearing a pair of underwear, but it has a bit of padding on the front, so that way no matter what you've got going on, it is smooth. Just make sure that you're not, you're in a public space, okay? I realize you're at a con and it's fun and we're all having a good time. However, put your genitals in a compartment that does not have them loose for the general public. There is definitely, places where that is okay and people want to see it, but generally at a convention, not usually the places we want to be seeing this, okay? I'm not shaming you. I'm not shaming you, okay? This is me definitely not shaming you. I'm just trying to make everything a little more family friendly, okay? Okay? So don't think I'm shaming you. It's not that serious. Cosplay is a hobby. We do this for fun. And I know this part is a very nuanced topic, and everybody is going to have very different experiences within the cosplay community. And there are people who exist in the cosplay community who are not good people. There are people who exist in the cosplay community to bring you down, to make you feel bad about being in cosplay. Cosplay has nothing to do with your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your nationality, your height, your age, your weight, nothing. It is a hobby just like any other, where you are meant to simply have fun, okay? Nothing is that deep, nothing is that serious. And if you are unhappy, if you are burnt out, if you are not having a good time, why are you here? Cosplay. It's in the name. You're supposed to be having fun. If you are going to a con and you see somebody else and you think, oh my God, they look so good and I will never look that good and I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Take a deep breath, okay? Everybody does cosplay differently, and it is kind of impossible to never compare yourself to somebody else, but that's not the point. The point of cosplay is not to compare yourself to somebody else. It's not to say, well, this cosplayer is clearly the best because they style their wigs and make all their costumes and they even spun the thread for their dress. That doesn't matter, okay? And you can't say, well, this cosplayer is the best because he's hot and he has abs and he's doing all these things and so clearly he's the best and I'll never be that. No. We're not doing that, okay? Are you having fun? Good. You're doing cosplay right. Are you enjoying yourself? You are doing cosplay right. Are you being an asshole online? You are doing cosplay wrong. There is no reason to be an asshole online. There is no reason to be an asshole at cons. There's no reason to go around being mean to people because you're not having a good time, because you don't think they're doing cosplay the way that you would do it. Just relax. It's not that serious. It is a hobby, okay? Anyone can cosplay. And if you are the reason that somebody else isn't cosplaying, you need to take a serious look in the mirror, okay? Now, yes, people leave the hobby for whatever reason. Sometimes they aren't having fun with it anymore. Sometimes they find a new hobby that they like and they leave, and that's okay. If you're no longer having fun with it anymore, you don't have to be here. But the goal is for you to be having a good time, okay? So don't ruin somebody else's time. Don't go around trying to spread hate and viciousness and anything like that. It's just, we are here to be having a good time. But I need you to remember that it's not that serious. Anybody can cosplay. It doesn't matter how tall you are, how old you are, how young you are, how much you weigh, where you were born, what color your skin is. None of that should impact how you cosplay. And if somebody else tells you that it should, block them or send them my way and I will fight them. because I don't mind calling somebody an asshole. Now I would like to share some tips that I collected from the community at large, which in some cases do just echo the things that I've said here, but I thought it'd be interesting to share what other people in the community, based on a varying range of talent and years of experience and things like that, also have to say that are important to share to new and beginner cosplayers. Your fellow cosplayers are your greatest resource, not your biggest competition. Make friends and learn from them. That, I think, is incredibly important. We shouldn't be trying to make enemies, we should be trying to make friends. We are all silly goobers who dress up. No one is elite. Facts. Facts. I have met so many of the like big cosplayers, the really popular cosplayers that are just infinitely goofy little goobers, and we're all just here having fun. We are all nerds in wigs. Repeat that with me. We are all nerds in wigs. Just brought it up in my story, so it's on my brain, LOL, but the dire importance of PPE. So anytime you use spray paint, you should be in a well-ventilated area, if not outside. So like in your garage with the door open, on your patio, in full. You should not be spray painting inside. If you are using contact cement or doing anything with a Dremel or cutting foam or heating foam, you should be wearing some sort of respirator or doing all of that outside. Even if you're like Dremeling foam, that's a lot of particulate that's gonna end up in your lungs and then in your brain, and that is microplastics ending up in your body. Not a good time. This is another good one. You don't have to wear contacts to be a good cosplayer. I know so many professional or semi-professional cosplayers that don't wear contacts. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do this for yourself, not to be better than others. This is so big. Don't compare yourself to others. You are going to make yourself feel like shit if you just spend this entire time comparing yourself to others. It's a hobby. You're supposed to be having fun. Bot cosplay is valid. Closet cosplay is valid. Another one said, bot cosplays are okay. Closet cosplay is okay. Starting out small is okay. It doesn't matter what way you cosplay, whether it's you thrifted all of your items, you bought that $350 expensive Doki Doki cosplay, you bought the really crappy, like, you know, Amazon cosplay. It doesn't matter what way you cosplay, okay? It's all valid. It's all good, you know? Any way that you cosplay is cosplay. Okay, if you are wearing clothes from your closet and you styled your own hair and you did no makeup, it's still cosplay. If you say, I'm cosplaying this character, you're still cosplaying. Don't be afraid to do something non-canon. This is a really fun one. I love doing like AU versions of cosplays. Do the swimsuit version of that cosplay. Do the tech wear version of that cosplay. You know, do the emo version of that cosplay. Do that cosplay but in a maid costume. Do that cosplay but in a bunny suit. You know, have fun with it. Your cosplay doesn't have to be perfect if you're not in a craftsmanship competition. I need you to internalize that. I need me to internalize that. Unless you are in a craftsmanship competition, you don't need to make it entirely perfectly. It's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay that it's not 100% canon. It's okay that it doesn't look like you just walked out of the screen. Unless you are being judged specifically in a competition for that costume, it's okay. Your fave cosplayers also mess up their makeup, sewing, armor, and have off days. Nobody is perfect. And nobody's perfect all of the time. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody is out here winging it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any of your own tips or tricks, I would love for you to put them in the comments below. If there's anything you want to see me do in future, also please tell me. If you like content like this, also tell me. If you want me to make a beginner sewing series or a series of tutorials, please do let me know. I have been thinking about it. It's in my brain, it's in the cranium, and so I do have plans to work on that in future. So yeah, if there's any type of content that you want me to make, please let me know. Drop it in the comments below. Let me know if this video was helpful for you at all. I do really enjoy giving out my information that I have gathered and learned throughout the years that I've been doing this, because I've made so many mistakes throughout all of the years that I've been doing this, and I've been able to learn so many interesting things and have really interesting experiences, so that way I can kind of hopefully make sure that other people do not have bad experiences or do not have the experiences that I have had, so that way you have a good time. Let me know, because I want to share my information with you. Yeah. Thank you for sticking around to this part of the video. I really appreciate everybody that watches my content. Like if you liked this video, and subscribe if you are new here. I talk about K-pop, I talk about like making your own clothes, I do tutorials, I do con vlogs. When I travel, I also sometimes, I'm gonna be traveling later this year and I'm gonna do vlogs about that. We're going to Italy, so that's really cool. I've never been. I'm actually taking Italian right now, so that way I am, because I refuse to be that tourist who doesn't know the language when they go to another country. I refuse to be that person. When I went to Korea a couple years ago, I actually ended up learning Korean. Well, not really. I learned parts, a little bit of it. So that way I wasn't just that tourist who was like, well, you need to learn English because that's the only language I know. It's actually not the only language I know. I also know French, but that's irrelevant. Anyways, thank you for watching. Love you. Bye. Ah!